On this edition of Freedom Journal Iraq, bolstering the Iraqi army with a new class of leaders and taking apart an aircraft with EOD's assistance. Don't miss these stories and more on today's FJI. Hello, I'm Air Force Sergeant Braden Smith. Welcome to this edition of Freedom Journal Iraq. The newest class of leaders is ready to join the Iraqi Army ranks. Petty Officer Nathan Gomez takes us to the commencement ceremony at the Iraqi Military Academy in Al-Rustamiyah for the latest Academy graduates.
The Iraqi Military Academy Al-Rustamiyah, founded in 1924 and reopened in 2005, continues to produce Iraqi officers to lead the forces already out protecting Iraq. This day marked a huge accomplishment for the cadets.
I'm very happy today. We and our families worked so hard for the sake of our homes to build it, and all the students here are very excited to graduate because it's worth it to join the Iraqi Army.
The training the cadets received is modeled after the Royal Military Sandhurst in the United Kingdom. Instead of having it in 3 years like the UK, it's all compressed into 1 year. Now that the new officers have completed this part, they're looking forward to helping in the future of Iraq.
Everyone on the graduating student is looking forward to restore security to our duty and protect the people.
With the top Iraqi and coalition forces leaders watching the cadets go through the final steps of becoming an officer, the graduation day also celebrates the future leadership of the Iraqi forces.
You are about to assume the greatest responsibility that any Iraq can take up, and that is leadership of the members of Iraq's military forces. And I know that you will live the values that you have learned here, and that you will provide the courageous leadership that the members of the military look forward to receiving from you.
Over 250 Iraqi lieutenants are ready to step up and help protect the country. Since the reopening, the Iraqi military academies have graduated over 4,800 officers to the Iraqi Army ranks. Petty Officer Nathan Gomez, Rustamiyah, Iraq.
Security gains in Iraq are due to the effectiveness of the partnership between Iraqi and coalition forces. Airman First Class Shaylin Jordan reports on some of these gains in Iraq.
Iraq is starting to receive support from other countries in the region due to the increased security situation. Major General Kevin Bergner, spokesman for Multinational Force Iraq, comments on the position of the country and what still needs to be done.
We still have much work to do. It will be enabled by the broadening regional support Iraq is beginning to receive from important allies across the Middle East. It will be enabled by the expanding capability of Iraqi forces, as we have seen very clearly in recent months. But it will also be sustained by the will of the Iraqi people and their extraordinary courage to press on.
One of the ways Iraq is in a better position is from joint forces working together to pursue terrorists and criminals in the region. Airman First Class Shaylin Jordan, Baghdad.
Coming up, EOD and a C-130 go head-to-head with explosive results.
Here's your raid report. Coalition forces detained 15 suspected terrorists, including an alleged al-Qaeda in Iraq leader, during operations around Iraq. The alleged cell leader reportedly oversees bombing attacks around Baghdad. A local national turned in munitions and weapons to U.S. soldiers north of Baghdad. The citizen turned in 2 sniper rifles, a rocket, 8 bags of explosive material, and miscellaneous electronics. Acting on a tip from a local citizen, U.S. soldiers detained the suspected terrorist in Rashid. The patrol returned to a combat outpost with the suspect for questioning. A tip led Iraqi Army soldiers to a weapons cache spread out over 5 locations south of Baghdad. The cache contained a suicide vest, a mortar system with about 50 mortars, ammunition, RPG rounds, and 1 anti-tank mine. And that's your raid report. I'm Senior Airman Michael Williams.
Here are the latest Operation Iraqi Freedom headlines. The Iraqi Defense Minister met with a number of civil and military officials to discuss imminent security operations in the Diyala province. He stressed the need for citizens to work with the security forces to purge the province of terrorists. The commander of Multinational Division Southeast said there is still a threat of militia violence in Basra despite the success of recent security efforts. The number of attacks in Mosul has declined by 50% since Iraqi security forces began focused operations against al-Qaeda. Residents say security has improved over the past 2 months, but fear remains. With violence in Iraq at its lowest level in 4 years, the U.S. military's focus has changed from combat operations to rebuilding. Soldiers are now helping assist Iraqi officials distribute aid and restore essential services. Those are your headlines from around the region. I'm Airman First Class Shaylin Jordan.
We are at war, and risks lurk around every corner. Whether you're off duty or in the field, minimizing unnecessary risk is vital to your mission. Wear the proper safety gear, follow the proper safety procedures, make appropriate risk decisions so you can put your efforts where they're needed most. Check it. What gets checked gets done.
The choice to dismantle a damaged C-130 put the wheels of the U.S. military into action. Air Force Sergeant Josie Weiss takes us to an emergency landing site outside the wire near Baghdad, where the E in team is explosive.
Coalition and Iraqi forces went into action when an Air Force C-130 made an emergency landing in a field north of Baghdad International Airport. Once the passengers and crew were evacuated and the initial investigation bore completed, the stranded C-130 posed a security risk. The question of what to do with the aircraft remained. The solution, cut it up so it could be moved to a more secure location.
It's extraordinary for the fact of every day we don't have aircraft that land in fields, and we actually get to take them apart to some extent.
I personally haven't had a chance to cut up an aircraft. I've been out on many aircraft crashes. Most of the time they just they don't land as nicely as this one did in the field.
The team of maintainers, EOD, coalition, and Iraqi forces and civilians worked in high gear. After securing the perimeter, they set up the aircraft for its final review and the first controlled detonation.
My team was kind of excited about going out there and explosively cutting up the aircraft, and they were ready to make it happen.
After 3 more detonations, the charred metal of the C-130 was removed.
This has not just been a 447th Expeditionary Operations Support Squadron effort either. MNCI, MNDB, there are so many people that have been involved with this, and the whole effort today is to make sure that we do it safely and effectively.
My main responsibility is safety out there. I had good team leaders out there, so to speak. I was looking at the forest rather than the trees, while they were in the trees actually making it happen.
The combined team made it happen, eliminating the potential security risk. Staff Sergeant Josie Wise, Sather Air Base, Iraq.
A drought in the Diyala province has left the area's citizens in dire need of water. Army Sergeant Christina Harwell shows us what the government of Iraq and coalition forces are doing to help.
The South Buritz water pump station is making a splash in the Diyala province. The Ministry of Electricity and Irrigation tested the equipment recently for effectiveness. The station is in need of repairs, and just running the test on the pumps took assistance from both departments of Diyala. The 2nd Stryker Cavalry Regiment Essential Service League officer, Captain Brian Meager, says although not all the pumps are working, he is happy with the results.
Unfortunately, what we discovered today was that there's still some minor issues. However, we're going to still count today as a success, as it demonstrated some cooperation, very decent cooperation between the Ministry of Electricity and the Ministry of Irrigation.
The surrounding area is presently suffering through a drought, and Diyala's Governor of Irrigation is striving to supply the people with much needed water.
Yeah, this is just one sign of the GOI's effectiveness or increasing effectiveness to be able to provide this essential service to their people.
The pump station reroutes water from the Diyala River into a canal that leads to a local water treatment facility. Upon completion, the water station will help provide water to over 90,000 people for drinking, agricultural purposes, and livestock. Reporting from Fob Warhorse, Iraq, I'm Army Sergeant Christina Harwell.
And that wraps up this edition of our program. Be sure to log on to mnf-iraq.com, where you can learn all about the progress coalition forces are making throughout the country. If you have story ideas, we'd love to hear them. Just email us at fji@iraq.centcom.mil. From all of us here at AFN and Freedom Journal Iraq, thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.